Suspend your disbelief, your rational, analytic mind, just for a minute, just for the length of this podcast. What if all I am about to tell you is the truth? What if the information you will be provided is from a divine source? Just for this time, I am your Axis Mundi. Consider this podcast your channel, your second opinion. When I do a reading, something larger than myself is working through me. So ask what you wish. This is your channel, your doorway to the divine. Welcome to John's Tarot. Welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be. Welcome to you from France.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
Oh, welcome to you from India.
Try to relax. This will feel a little weird.
Welcome to you from Mexico.
I'm completely operational and all my circuits are functioning perfectly.
Oh, welcome to you from Israel.
Your choice is simple. Join us and live in peace, or pursue your present course and face obliteration.
Welcome to you from Ontario, Canada.
This is madness!
Welcome to you from Pennsylvania.
Well, I'm very pessimistic.
Welcome to you from Florida.
You figure it's all a scam, huh? All them folks?
Mm-hmm.
They just wrong.
Oh, yeah. Been that way since one monkey looked at the sun and told the other monkey, he said, for you to give me your fucking share.
Welcome to you from Georgia.
Lies! Lies! Lies!
And welcome to you from wherever in the world you may be. Housekeeping. If you would like to appear on John's Tarot as a guest, please drop me a note, and I'll be glad to do an interview with you. The second one is interviews. If you would like me to appear on your podcast, send me a note, and we'll work something out, and I will appear with you on your podcast. I hope you all had a good week. I had a pretty good week. It was okay. I've been really busy at the hospital with work over there. You know, this podcast, I only do it once a week. And that is because I still work full-time as a nurse. And I'm picking up a side job. And to really be successful on YouTube, I mean, you got to be out there doing 3 or 4 videos a day. And I'm working full-time. So it would be appreciated if you could give me any help that you can, either like with a thumbs up or a note, just saying, give me a comment on what you think it's how I'm doing, and that would help. And if you listen to the whole podcast, that would help too. But do what you can. People come, people go, and I'm okay with that. I'm kind of wondering if do you want me to stick around? If you want me to stick around and do tarot readings, I'm happy to do that. So today I'm going to do something a little different. I don't have an interview for today. Today I'm going to just take a look at a couple of topics and do some tarot readings on the topics. I have this ability. I can do it. Tarot reading is just how I express it. It's not the cards. It's me. I know that. And I'm going to use the electronic deck today. So let's take a look at a couple of questions. A couple of questions I'm going to take a look at today is United States in decline? Are we in decline? And I'm going to take a look at that. We'll do a tarot reading. You know, it used to be the United States. We were number one. We're number one in the world, the number one superpower. But I don't know. It's not looking that way anymore. So are we in decline? Also, the second one I'm going to do is, are we in decline? And then, some states and the United States are considering leaving the United States, and we'll take a look at that. Thirdly, I'll take a look at some fun stuff. We're going to take a look at Immaculate Constellation, and we're going to take a look at some UFO stuff. Immaculate Constellation, and just what exactly are they seeing, and what exactly are what's going on with the UFOs. So let me move over to this one right here. So is the U.S. in decline? Is the U.S. in decline? I don't know what it is about our current administration. All the tariffs and hiding behind a tariff wall, building a wall between us and other countries, building a wall between us and Mexico. Are walls, tariff walls, or physical walls really effective? Are we not in decline? There's been some problems. The U.S. dollar is in decline. We are not the number one currency as we used to be. As of April 24th, the U.S. dollar has fallen by 4.9% since the start of the month, when the U.S. announced a wide array of tariffs on trading partners. It was one of the largest monthly declines since 2009. It is currently down 7.3% from its peak on January 13th. The dollar's drop has raised concerns because it coincides with a spike in U.S. interest rates, an unusual event. Typically, when the U.S. bond yields are higher than those in other developed countries, the dollar rises. During times of heightened market volatility, Treasury yields tend to fall because historically, U.S. Treasuries have been perceived as a safe haven amid uncertainty. However, since April, that pattern has reversed. And we haven't been are we in decline? We haven't been all that successful in the wars we've been waging. We've lost wars. Vietnam, we lost. Afghanistan, lost. Iraq, lost. And we're losing in Ukraine. And, Russia is in the ascendancy. Russia and their allies are China. And Russia has admitted that Chinese are helping them in Ukraine and India. These are the ascending economies in the world. China is currently doing things like they have unmanned. China has unmanned air taxis. Now we're hiding behind a wall. Is hiding behind a wall going to affect us economically, because we're not going to be able to take advantage of all the newest technologies, like the Chinese air taxis and all the new technologies that will be coming out of China? Instead, we're hiding behind a wall. That just may not be to our best interest. Now, let me move over to my tarot deck, and we'll do these one at a time. So my question is does hiding behind a wall, tariff wall, physical wall, how will that affect us? Is that going to be effective? So let me move over to my tarot deck, and we'll do these one at a time. My ability to read tarot is a gift, an expression of divine love, and I'm here to share it with you in that same spirit. So this question has to do with, is the United States hiding behind walls? Are we in decline? What can we expect from hiding behind walls? What can we expect from hiding behind walls? Tariff walls, border walls, walls between our neighbor, cultural walls, all the walls that are being built. Are these going to be helpful? So let me go ahead and shuffle the deck. I think that's a good question. Shuffle the deck. What can we expect from all the walls we're building? We're building walls, tariff between us and the rest of the world. What kind of effect will that have on us? I think that's a good question. What effect will building all these walls, tariff walls, border walls, culture walls, what kind of effect will building all these walls have upon us economically and have upon us as a culture? My first card is strength. My second card is the Tower. Why am I not surprised by that one? And my third card, the Emperor. And we'll throw some runes on there. Let me grab my runes for the Strength card, the Tower card, and the Emperor. What will all these building of walls have? What kind of effects will that have on us for the Strength card? Langos for the Tower card. And I just have these in a bag, and I shake the bag, and I pull out a rune. And this rune is called Bertho. So if I had to read this, the Strength card has to do with controlling your ego and controlling these, with the United States. Oh, we've been so special. We've been number one. We've been the number one economy in the world. And we've been very egotistical about this. And the Strength card is about making friends with the ego. It's about making friends that with that part of us that wants to overwhelm us. And the rune Laguz has to do with waves, currents. Tides go in, tides go out. So, we were the number one. We were the number one. We were. Now, we are very egotistical about that. But things change. Looks like things are going to be changing. Tides go in, tides go out. Langus. That is going to be what we can expect. We were number one, but will hiding behind walls continue to keep us number one? The cards say no. The Tower card. The Tower card has to do with collapse. We're losing our position as the number one economy, as a number one world power, and hiding behind walls will just continue to. That's a very unsteady foundation for us to move forward on. That is not the way to move forward through building of walls. That'll just bring us to collapse. And then the rune of Algaz has to do with the hunt. So what the hunt is, moving forward and not being afraid to engage in conversation, not being too afraid to engage in negotiation. The tower, the walls will be the way to move forward. So our position is number one. Hiding behind walls is in a period of decline, in a period of collapse. And the rune Algaz encourages us to move forward on the hunt. And the third card is the Emperor. It has to do with our current emperor. We know who that is in control of things. And will he move forward in a way that the rune here is Pertho, which has to do with flying above and looking down and getting a greater perception. I think the card and the rune has to do with our new leadership, probably coming up in 2000 in our midterms, or our current leadership flying above its current challenges to take a wider, broader look, and that is what is going to be required. I think that's what the tarot is telling us, is that we require leadership to guide us, which will take a wider, broader look. So, yeah, we're moving. We are not in the ascendancy. We are in decline, and what is going to be required is leadership that is able to take a broader, wider look at what's going on in the world and what's going on with different economies and how we can move forward. And that is what it's talking about there. So let me move on to my second story. Top 10 states that might be leaving the United States. That's a big problem. You think I'm crazy, but I've been finding these on the internet. And there is talk of states leaving the United States over these tariffs, because a lot of our states, especially the states that border with Canada, are in a period of great economic strain. They have trade relations with Canada. There's also the relationships where there's electrical power being exchanged back and forth. There's tourism that happens between the two states. And the big economic strain. And one way out of that economic strain would be to leave the United States and become a province of Canada, and different states are considering that. You think I'm crazy? Look at it. It says right here, Alaska is one. Alaska has big economic ties and border ties with Canada. So they are considering it. Second state, Minnesota. Minnesota, major economic ties, borders with Canada, and many of their beliefs are more aligned to the Canadian beliefs, and big hockey fans, and they're considering joining Canada. Washington State, another, they have close ties, economic ties with Canada. They are in the Pacific Northwest, and thinking about, hey, we got to do what's best for Washington. Maybe we need to look for a better deal. And they're considering ties with Canada. Maine has always been an independent state, very independent thinking is what I mean. And they don't like, they don't particularly like the Democrats either, but they're thinking about, they're on a border state. They're close to Canada as far as economies and the fishing and outdoor life and winter life. Maine is thinking about moving. Michigan is another big state. They're thinking about possibly joining with Canada. They have a common border with the UP, the Upper Peninsula, and big winter sports, hockey players, and being hurt severely by the tariffs. So they'd have to think about what's best for the Michiganians. Vermont, another state that's number 6, and they're thinking about moving over to considering closer ties with Canada rather than pulling away. Oregon, another state real close with Canada and looking at possibly a better deal. California, California is like one of the 5th biggest economies in the world. And they're thinking about, there is talk about California seceding and moving to be in a relation with Canada, becoming a province in Canada. Just for the health care alone, it might be worth it. So California, New Hampshire, and New York, these are all states that are considering moving over to Canada, and these are under serious consideration. So let's see what the tarot has to say about that. Let me gather the cards. What can we expect from we have states considering leaving the United States? What can we expect? What can we expect? That's a lot of tension, and nothing I ever thought I would see in my lifetime. What can we expect in terms of states leaving the United States? 3 cards. What can we expect? First card, the 3 of Wands. Second card, the Ace of Cups. Very good cards. And the third card, I just do 3-card readings really quick. The 6 of Cups. And let me pull some runes. For the 3 of Wands, Ace of Cups, and the 6 of Cups. States considering leaving the United States. What can we expect? For the 3 of Wands, this rune is Iwaz. Second rune for the Ace of Cups. And then I can see these. I can see what the tarot is saying. This rune is called Orthelia. And then the third rune for the 6 of Cups. Oh, that same one. Rune is called Pertho. The 3 of Wands. Some states are considering it. Some states have made a decision and are waiting to see what happens. They're giving the current administration a little time to recover, but they have made a decision and are looking into the future to see what they want to do. They're given a little time, but some of these states have already made a decision, and that does not bode well for the current administration. EWAS has to do with transformation and delay and wait, so it's a waiting game. So right now, these states have made a decision, waiting to see what happens, and they're waiting to see what happens. The Ace of Cups has to do with relationships. In all relationships are important. All relationships have something to teach us. All relationships are valuable. And some of these states are considering their relationship with the United States, their relationship with Canada. Are they going to receive a better deal? The rune is called Orthelia, and that has to do with inheritance. Many of these people in these border states have inherited cultural traits, which are closer to Canadian traits, and it also has to do with stripping away. Is it time for these states to strip away the relationship with the United States? I don't like any of these cards. I don't like any of the stuff that is coming out. And the third card is the 6 of Cups, and that one has to do with wishing for better times as we move forward in the future, that we're all, relationships, we had rekindling relationships, and I don't know, I don't think they're going to do it, but they're considering it. But they're looking for better times, better relationships that we used to have with Canada, better relationships all around. And then the rune again has to do with flying above, taking a chance. But some of them might take a chance. If these relationships do not improve, some of these states are considering taking a chance. Eesh. All difficult decisions. So let's move over to my next story. Okay, so some stuff that's a little bit more fun. I don't know if you guys watch Weaponized with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They just did an episode on Immaculate Constellation. Immaculate Constellation, and let me just read you what it is, what essentially it is. It is they gather the United States, gathering from its, how can I say this, from all different methods of information gathering, infrared, satellites, aerial photography, information on UAPs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs. Let me just go ahead and read what I got here. This document is the result of a multi-year internal investigation into the subject of unidentified anomalous phenomena, technologies of unknown origin, and non-human intelligence. This investigation is taken in response to urgent and credible threats to the public good and safety of the United States, and provided to Congress through the UAP whistleblower mechanisms. So the issue here is that this program, what do they call this? Immaculate Constellation. They've been gathering information and not sharing this information with Congress. Congress and the taxpayer has been paying for this information, but they're not sharing it with the Congress. And that, again, sets up a constitutional crisis. So if you were interested in more of this, there's a guy, you turn into The Last Weaponizer, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp. They interview a guy who was working in the Pentagon and who gathered, and he's a whistleblower, and he is now withdrawn from the Pentagon, and he talks about some of the intel he's seen. One of the things he saw was why it's so top secret, were the ships, two Soviet ships off the coast of Russia, but out to sea, were sitting there in a dead calm. And the submarine had them under surveillance. Like, why are these guys just sitting there? And they had pictures of it from apparently periscopes that a triangular-shaped UFO appeared above these two ships. And during that period when the UFO appeared above the two Russian ships, there was no, shall we say, there was no excitement. Like, these ships kind of expected it. They were there waiting for it. And this information was gathered as a part of the Immaculate Constellation. And it's unweaponized with Corbell and Knapp, if you want to take a look at that. But let's go ahead and ask the tarot. How about what is the relationship with the UFOs and our adversaries, the Russians? Let's ask that. What does that relationship look like? I'll go back over here to the tarot cam. And I will go ahead and shuffle the deck. Let's gather the cards. And let's shuffle the deck. I'm using the electronics cards because it's just easier to show everything. And my background, and Newman's background, is the Temple of Apollo in Delphi. I had the opportunity to visit there. So let's see. What is the relationship like? Oops, let me gather my runes. What is the relationship like between the Russians and the UAPs? And then let's believe there are several different kinds of UAPs from different civilizations. But the ones that were noticed and talked about on Weaponized with the whistleblower, what is the relationship between that UFO, between those UAPs and the Russians? What is that relationship currently like? But my first card comes up is Ace of Cups, has to do with relationships. Second card, Page of Swords, kind of interesting. And then the third rune is the Seven of Swords. Interesting. Okay, let's throw a couple of runes on this. For the Ace of Cups, Page of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. What does that relationship look like between the Russians and the UAPs they appeared with off the coast? My first rune is, this rune is called Jira. And for the Page of Swords, this rune is called Anzus. And for the Seven of Swords, you got to admit, I picked out some interesting topics for today. Radio. That was easy for me to remember. I remember the meanings of these runes, but sometimes I forget their name. The Ace of Cups has to do, and we're talking about the relationships between the Russians and these UFOs. There is an important relationship. There's been this is the first card, Ace of Cups, in the past. There is a relationship between Russia and this interstellar, or this civilization. I don't know how else to phrase it. The civilization that has the triangle-shaped UFO. There is a relationship. It's an important relationship, and the Russians are learning from this relationship. But this relationship is just in its beginning stages. Jira has to do with seeds and growth and beginnings and planting. So in relation to the picture that is shown, that is talked about on the Weaponized program, this relationship is just in the beginnings. The Page of Swords has to do with policing, has to do with justice, has to do with learning new ways in order to do things, has to do with being watched, and that's the watcher is sometimes what this one is called. So in regards to that experience, they were being watched, they're being observed by the people who think they are the policing agency of the world, namely the United States. And they were being, so this relationship is being observed. It's known about in the higher echelons, which is not being discussed. And then the rune of Anzus has to do with messages from. So we're observing them, and we're giving them the message through Weaponized that we know that they have a relationship, and that we are observing them, and we're letting them know. We're letting them know that we know that they have this relationship with this outer space civilization, this intergalactic civilization. I don't know how else to phrase it. Unidentified aerial phenomena. That we know that there is a relationship, and they're releasing that knowledge through Weaponized. And then the third rune, the third is the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups, and that has to do with us seeing opportunity. The Russians see opportunity there, see opportunity for growth, see opportunity for change, and they're taking advantage of this opportunity. They see opportunity where nowhere else sees opportunity, and the rune radio indicates that they're on the right path. All kind of tough readings for the United States this week, and I don't know. These are good questions. These are possible answers to some really tough questions. Is the United States in decline as a world power? Are states in the United States considering leaving the United States Union? Certainly, they are they're taking it into consideration and are going to wait and see what happens. And the Russian relationship with UAPs have a close relationship. We know about it. We're observing it. And that is my tarot readings for this week. If you would like a private tarot reading, contact me, and we'll set up an appointment, and we'll do private tarot readings for you. Of course, when a private tarot reading, it's going to cost me time and energy, and there'll have to be some type of nominal charge. But I'm not getting rich by this, so I'd appreciate the help if you would like some personal tarot readings. So for this week, that'll be all.
Goodbye, Professor Marvel, and thanks a lot!
Well, it was my pleasure. So until next week, be careful, be cool, be kind. And remember, have faith, find courage, and I'll see you all next week. All right, bye-bye.